I'll maybe create like a good example here of this. You put together like an example of how to assess yourself entrepreneur wise, just, in general. I'll let you start with that, Pinnacle. What would you say would be like the first things to do when assessing yourself?
Am I willing to be uncomfortable? Like, and so that means like in some of these examples I outlined today, right? Am I willing to be like, if I'm not a very social person, like that's going to be very hard for you to go out there and, pick up some phone calls and make some cold calls and maybe to some brokers or directly talk to shippers. You know what I mean? Like if you're showing up there, you don't even have like I don't know, like a script that you actually went over in your mind. This is going to be very complicated. This might be a huge bomb that you might fail on. And if you're willing to go past that, right? If you're willing to go past that failure to maybe find a solution and find your way throughout, this little niche, this little market that you're trying to attain, then great. You actually have some success there. You know what I mean? But if you're not willing to be uncomfortable, that's a huge problem right there. Just starting off number one.
Manny, what would you say? What would your number two be to the assessing yourself, since Pinnacle came with number one?
Self-confidence.
Okay,
which kind of goes back to his number one, being confident to know that you're doing the right thing by the customer, for the customer, and for yourself, and be able to go out and beyond. Put the shipment first, you're second. If you really want to own a company, I mean, my company, literally up until probably a year ago, my company was my first kid, my daughter was my second. So when you really want to own a company, you want to run it, you want to scale it, and you want to get somewhere, it needs to be your number one priority from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. And you got to eat it, shit it, breathe it, the whole 9 yards.
Ryan, number three, what would you say? Pass the ball here.
You have to just wake up and own it. Like, this is what's going to make me or break me. It's what's going to feed my family. This is what's going to feed me for the rest of my life. Either I'm all in or I'm not.
Gray Wolf, what's number four? What would you say?
I go by, what are you celebrating?
What are you celebrating? Okay.
So here's my thing, right? So let's say you had a good month. You made 10,000. I'm just throwing that number out there, right? Are you celebrating that you made 10,000? I don't celebrate that. I celebrate I'm going to make 10,000 again. That is my mindset, right? If I lose, we're all going to have a month that we're going to lose. It's going to happen. So I take a step back and I assess, where did I go wrong? Now, if I say I knew this was going to happen, then I need to get out the business because I deserve to lose. So my mindset is I'm always going to win, and I'm always going to get better. I am going to celebrate because I am going to do it again. That's it.
Consistency. I like it.
Keeping that momentum going.
Yeah. Cheddar, what's number five, would you say?
So I agree with was that Gray Wolf, what he just said. I think consistency is big. I'll give you number five, but just to piggyback off of what he said first.
Yeah.
Something that I even tell my siblings, if you're in this and you're growing your business, consistency is key. And one of the things that I do is each Friday, I make it a point to see how did I grow from last week. It doesn't always have to be financially. Like, I don't have to be like, oh, last week I made 1,000, this week I made 1,100, 1,200. No, not necessarily that. But what did I do from last Friday to this Friday that made my business better than what it was last week? Whether that be, did I go out and give business cards? Did I buy some new equipment? Something that I did that let me know that I'm moving forward. But what I would say as far as assessing is number five, and some of it we heard on the call tonight, is understanding process. I don't care what you do in life, until you fully understand the process of what it is that you're doing, you can't master it. So when I hear things on the call tonight, like in terms of like, kind of understanding like, all right, what rate should I be taking? Like, what's a good rate for me? What should I be doing if I'm deadheading back from certain markets? Like, those are things as far as like understanding the process of what you're doing. So like, all right, last week I made X amount of money, but I got beat up 3 times because I went to this dead market that lit. How do I avoid that from happening again? What's the process of this? When they send me to this dead market, what does that mean for me? So that's what I think is really important as far as assessing. Assess every week. Like, do I understand the process of what I'm actually doing?
Learn to master the process and adapt and keep on moving. I love it. BC, what's number 6, would you say?
Preparation.
Go ahead.
When I say that,
That's
meaning
good.
that, every day that I wake up, I have to prepare myself mentally because I know that I'm standing firm on my bids, and I'm going to get turned down more times than I receive a load. And if I'm not prepared mentally, that can overwhelm me. So that way, that when things are not going the way I would like for them to go for my business, I'm prepared for that obstacle that's before me. And that's what, I suggest, just stay prepared, because it's not going to go each day, each week, and each month is not going to be the same.
I love it. Rome, number 7, last
Yeah,
one.
yeah. I piggyback off of Brian. Of course, that's my mentor. So it's more like he said, more like preparation and everything, because you already know in this business it's ups and downs. To be honest with you, I haven't experienced the same week since I've been doing it, whether it's good or whether it's bad. So I just try to keep that mindset, and when things are not always where I feel like things should be, then I try to think back on what I did to make things better. What can I do to make things better? How can I bid better? How can I move better? Which way can I go? You know. So that's just kind of how I maneuver in it, because like I say, and this right here is ups and downs, but just to stand firm on what you believe in, who you are as far as your business, you just got to keep going.
Hope you viewers took notes on that specifically, how to assess yourself. Because maybe it's not that, accountability is not, maybe not the issue. You're just trying to sit and think, well, how do I sit back and assess myself? How do I evolve and not go extinct like a lot of people out here do? Well, here are 7 ways you can look back and assess yourself. Are you willing to be uncomfortable and fail and then learn from your failure and keep moving? How much self-confidence, shout out to Manny, like he said, how much self-confidence do you have? And are you willing to put your business first over yourself in order to make your business grow? And then shout out to Ryan, wake up and own it. Wake up and own it. And then what Grey Wolf said, what are you celebrating? Trying to be consistent. And then what Chet has said is understanding the process. And I feel like process is key, is learn to master a process and adapt. And then what Brian said, preparation, wake up and be ready. And then what Rome said is reflect and stand firm on your beliefs. Guys, this was a absolute S tier assessment in my eyes. If you guys in the comment section agree with that, I mean, put a fire sign, whatever indication you want to say to that, to just how we just all created an assessment sheet for all you owner operators, that are tuning in here.